Hello. Oh, Alchemy here. I want to talk about strength training, strength in general, hitting the wall, and what is called bonking. When you bonk, to be bonked means you've tapped everything out of your body, all the fuel that you put in. You've tapped out all of your muscle energy reserves. You've dumped everything to the point lactic acid is taking over your muscles and seizing them into locked cramps. That is what is known as bonked. Bonked is a cycling term. Endurance cyclists use it. It's a bad thing, and we all know that. When you bonk yourself, you are destroying your body. Your cells are being destroyed. To become bonked, you ignored your body signals and you didn't put in enough fuel and give it enough rest and stretching when it needed. You could have carried on your activities, but we get locked up when we reach that adrenaline place. That adrenaline place is what is called hitting the wall. There's a lot of people that have never even experienced hitting the wall. Hitting the wall is a good thing. That means you've reached your full physical max potential and you don't have any more. That's good, but you don't want to go too far past the wall because then you become bonked. So hitting the wall is important to know the term. It's important to know what it feels like in your body. And it's good to do it. It's good to bring your body up to that level if you're able to. For people who aren't able to be physically active, you can still hit the wall. One way to do it, and again, I want to explain my terminology. To hit the wall is a strengthening exercise. What I term a strengthening exercise, I've explained before, is what I call an evolution. Evolution is 20 minutes minimum. That's what it takes to get your heart rate up. Okay? So to me, when I'm talking about strength training, I'm talking about any time you bring your heart rate up for 20 minutes. Okay? I don't care what you're doing. So if you can't be physically active, you can still hit the wall. You can still bring your heart rate up. How do you do that? You do that with heat. You do that with a sauna. You do that with a hot bath, a jacuzzi, whatever. You do it with heat. That brings your heart rate up. Really simple. It's great for your circulation. It's great for your heart, okay? So, to me, getting your heart strong is strength training. Okay, strength. I want to explain that in my view. Strength. Muscle has nothing to do with strength. It amazes me, all of my friends that are my age who are still trying to weight train and looking at their muscles and gauge that as their gauge of strength. And it's just, it's amusing and it's sad because they've gone that far in life and they have not learned that muscle does not equal strength. What equals strength? Balance. Balance. If you're a big old lifter dude, all you need to do is soften yourself out and you'll be, I would say fully twice as strong, but you're going to be a lot stronger than you ever would have been. Anytime we work with an athlete, that's the only thing I focus on is softening because they've already got enough muscle. They already have the concept of hitting a wall. Most of them have the concept of bonking, of going way too far. Okay? So whether you're fit or not fit, you want to, do your evolutions. You want to get your heart rate up. obviously it's good if you do these kind of things daily. It's good if you can do them a couple times a day. Always more is better. But, I think let's talk about minimal levels for somebody that's really disabled. 3 times a week is enough. Even twice a week is a big boost for a lot of people. Just putting yourself in a hot bath 2-3 times a week for half an hour to an hour. That's where I basically started my program. Well, I didn't start it, but when I started my strengthening part of my program, that's where I started. I started with hot baths, just to get a feel for what my heart was feeling like when when my heart rate increased, and stayed at that level for 20 minutes minimum. That's where I started. And then I just increased my time in the heat. Then I started adding cold onto that, of course, for my spine. And once you've got the hot and cold going, you've got a really good thing going on. And again, you've got strength training going on. You've got your heart getting stronger at that point. You can stay in that heat if you want to. Now, at this point, it comes down to you being tuned in, and this is where the disclaimer comes in, because any athlete that hits the wall, and especially any athlete that bonks, when you bonk, you're risking death, outright death, okay? And then if you have any other issues going on, those can be contributing factors to your imminent death. So you need to keep that all in mind, because there's nobody watching out for you. You have to take care of yourself, okay? Because I have heart issues. I'm aware of those. I'm real tuned into that, and that's why I'm explaining this to you. I've lost friends, some knowingly, some unknowingly, that pushed too far, and they died, okay? And the ones that knew better, we had talked, and they knew, and they were tuned into their body. What happened with them was they got the adrenaline high that a lot of us are junkies on, and they made a conscious choice that that was the way they were going out. And back then I had a problem with that. Now, it's up to the person and your place in life. It's up to you. But me personally now, I am not as afraid of that as I was anymore. Not that I'm ignoring it, I'm staying tuned in, but I'm more willing to push myself to the wall than I was when I was younger. And that's probably a bad thing, being an older person, but again, I'm fully aware of these things, and I'm staying as tuned in as possible. And I've made the few people that, like say my doctor. I have one out of a bunch that actually cares. And so I actually sat down with him and had this same talk with him. And so he, at least that one medical person on my team, understands how far and exactly what I'm doing. Because, again, you're on your own with this. You don't do anything without telling your doctor. Talk to your doctor about all the stuff you're going to try first. But most of them don't understand. And then, more than that, more of them don't care. They just, I'm sorry, they don't care. And I don't think that's just me. And I think that's, it's a doctor thing partly, because they put on a shield, an emotional shield, and they block a lot of stuff, so they don't become personally attached to people. And they also deal with life and death a lot, so they lose a lot of people. So they view relationships with their patients much differently than a patient would ever understand, believe me. So you're on your own, staying tuned in. Again, the term is hitting the wall. Okay thing, be careful with it. Bonking, bad thing. You've gone way too far. Probably because you were high on adrenaline and endorphins, and you weren't feeling that your body was getting shaky and getting ready to get into cramps and to seize up on you. That happens when you're out alone and you're in real serious trouble. Myself, when I train alone, I bring certain things with me to, make sure that if I do get bonked on the side of the road by myself, that I have enough, water and fuel, some kind of snack or candy or whatever to get me down the road till I can find help. So I just wanted to talk about those terms. I was going to label this for extreme athletes, but then I realized that this is about strengthening, and strengthening can be done, like I said, with just heat, and it's about your heart, which brought me into the concept about, not getting locked up on the concept of strength training being about big muscles, because that's just a falsehood, and balance will give you much more strength. So, do your training. If you think you're not able to train, you are. All you need is heat and cold. You can start with that, and once you started there, I haven't met anybody that couldn't train in some physical way. And I do have a couple people that are going to be a challenge for me, but nothing I haven't dealt with before. I mean, if you can move an eyebrow, you've got something to work with, something to start with, and then you expand that out. But most of those types of things that I do are loosening. They're not particularly strengthening. And again, I loosen because there's already strength in the body that's trapped. And particularly with people that don't think they have strength and don't have motion, you still have strength and motion. It's just trapped. And so it's easier to unlock what you already have than to try to get something that you can't get because nothing's moving anyways. So I hope all of that made some sort of sense. And that's pretty much it for these thoughts today. I just putting them out because I hit the wall myself a couple times today. And it was a good thing. I feel okay, but yeah, and I didn't bonk. I came close to bonking. And so yeah, that's what brought this all up. So don't bonk yourself. It's not good. I'll come you out.